Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Caitlin and today we are talking about two palettes and doing two looks because Nomad Cosmetics is doing a retirement sale. There are two palettes that they are retiring. Their time has come and gone, and when they are sold out, they are going to be gone. Or if they don't sell out by, I believe, the end of March, they are going to be removed from their website. So they are 50% off now. Now's your chance, and we're going to talk about those palettes. The two palettes are the Nomad Tokyo palette, so that's look number one, and the Nomad Cosmetics Fire and Ice palette. That's the palette I'm wearing right now. So if that sounds good to you, keep on watching. Before we get too far into the video, I hope you will consider subscribing. I upload videos twice a week. I know the last month or so it's been one, but it will be back to two shortly. And yeah, just click the like button, subscribe, hang out, be part of the channel, and yeah, stick around for the next one. Okay, let's go ahead and get into look number one of these two currently 50% off palettes. Okay, so here is the Tokyo palette. I've talked about it, I think, quite a few times now on my channel. I'll leave linked. I know I have at least one other video that has a dedicated look with this palette. My embossings are not pristine anymore because I've used it so much, but it is a pastel dream. I absolutely love the inclusion of this gray and this almost black. It's like a deep gray though. These iridescent shades, I don't think Nomad's ever done again, and I don't know why, because it's the best thing they've ever created from the entire brand, in my personal humble opinion. This has a lot of satins in it as well. They're not all mattes, but I think this one's my favorite. I can't remember. I will leave my Nomad ranking linked. I have linked all of the Nomad palettes I own, but the cat embossings get me every time. We're going to do another look with it today. I'm going to go in with Tea Room to start with, which is the yellow. And I'm going to put that in the crease across my entire eye. And then I'm also going to put that more in the front half of the eye. So my plan is to do kind of like a smoky yellow look, if that's a thing, as much as possible. What I like about these pastels is the fact that they show up on me as someone who is quite fair. There's a lot of pastels I've tried that are chalky, ashy, or they just simply fade into non-existence on my eyes. These are none of those. They are wonderful. In fact, if I ranked all the pastel palettes in my collection, not that I own every pastel palette, of course, that's ever been created, I think this one would be my favorite of all of them in my collection. I don't have a ton. Are you guys getting the Glaminatrix pastel palette that they just released? I think I might pass. Usually Glaminatrix stan, but I don't know. There's just a lot of mattes. And their shimmer formula for me is the standout. So I'm not convinced. I don't know. I know it's a limited edition palette, so we'll see. But I'd love to hear your thoughts about it in the comments. Next up, I'm going to go with Visual K. That is the deep shade here, the deepest shade in the palette. Again, it's not a black. It's more of just like a darker gray. And I'm going to place that out here on both eyes and blend to filth. Okay, now I'm going back with the first brush and the first shade, and I'm just going to put it around the edges of the dark gray here on the outside to kind of blend the edges out. I don't want it to be too harsh. And I'm going to take the second brush and go in with Niji. I'm sorry, Japanese, not any of my languages. I'm sure I'm butchering it. I apologize. The lighter gray, and I'm going to go on the outer portion of the lower lash here. I could leave it here, but I'm going to use a little of Gairu, this kind of pinky shade right here on the lower lash line as well. And I mostly want that there because I'm going to use this shade actually as my blush today as well. I love using these pastel shades. The shimmer formula is wonderful for blush. They've got pink, orange, yellow. So good. I'm sorry for the rattling. Salem is being just so incessant because I've locked him out right now. He's so bad when I let him in, and he just knocks over everything off of my desk. So he is currently forbidden and mad about it. So I'm going in with my Rephr 4 brush with this Gairu. And like I said, I'm going to use that as my blush as well. And this is like that perfect, just like cool toned pinky blush moment that I feel like the trend, the peak is going down now, right? Like it was everywhere there for a minute. It's calmed down a bit maybe. And if you're curious about any of the other products I'm wearing today, I always leave them listed in the description. Oh, I'm going to take a flat brush. This is the one I love using from Kaleidos. And I'm going to use a little bit of glitter primer. This one's from Ulta Beauty, but you can use whatever you have. And in the center portion between those two shades and a little bit on the inner portion of the lid, I'm just going to place a little bit of that because I am going to pop one of these shimmers on. It's going to give it something to adhere to and really pop. Today I'm using Zaku Zaku, which is the yellow base with the pink reflect in it. Again, kind of why I put that like little bit of pinky in the lower lash line here. And let the magic happen. Oh, these iridescent shades, you guys. I need more of you to help me convince Nomad to do something more with this formula, this iridescent shimmer formula. I need more of them, more shades in my life, because these are truly opulent. Is that the right word I'm looking for? They're just excellent. They're so reflective, shifty. They're like these really nice toppery shades, and I love them. I love this kind of pastel grungy look too. It's so pretty. And then I'm going to put a little matte on the inner corner. I'm going to take Hanami, this kind of like peachy neutral shade. Just do a little bit in the corners. And that'll tie together kind of like the pinky on the lower lash line with the reflect and the shimmer on the lid. Oh, that's so pretty. I'm just going to take a flat brush here. I'm going to use the same dark gray shade from the outer lash line, or the outer corner. Words are hard. And I'm just going to use a brush to create a shadow liner with that same shade. And I'll put on some lashes, lip, and I'll be back to show you the completed look. Alright guys, and here is the final look number 1 with the Nomad Tokyo palette. I love how it turned out. I absolutely love, like I said, a pastel smoky situation. The blush is so glowy with the satin shadow. I just love this. I really think I'm going to have to take this one with me to Japan when I travel there this summer. Let's go ahead and get into the Land and Ice palette. Alright, so for look 2, we are using the Land and Ice palette, and it also, like all of Nomad's other palettes, has these unique embossings. We've got some blues, some greens, some purples, even some red, and a little bit of like a mustardy orangey color. It's more orange than yellow. I don't know if it's showing up true on camera, but I definitely will admit I haven't used this particular Nomad palette as much as the others in my collection, so I'm excited to play with it again today. I'm going to start with this shade called Frig. I'm going on a Laura Lee Los Angeles L26 brush, and I'm just going to put this in the crease on both eyes to start with. I did use an eyeshadow primer. If you're new to my channel, I use an eyeshadow primer with every single eyeshadow look ever. That's not something extra I'm doing to baby this formula. I just feel like for me it helps with the longevity, helps the shadows just have like their true opacity, give it their best shot. I also crease a lot if I don't use an eyeshadow primer with my eyes being hooded the way they are, so it's just a must for me with my personal eye shape when it comes down to it, everything else aside. And yeah, if you're curious what I'm using for that primer or any of the other products, I always leave all that information in the description of my videos. So next up I'm going to go in with Odin, the shade right here. It's kind of gray looking. I'm not 100%. It's like gray, but maybe it has like a tinge of green in it. Very interesting undertone. It's not like a true gray, but I really, really like it. These mattes are a little dusty. I mean, they're pressed not super hard, so they're gonna be more pigmented, but if you're like me and you enjoy doing your base first, tap off the excess because you will have fallout otherwise. If you tap it, you're not going to have any issues with fallout. You can probably see I don't have any with these mattes at this point, but I think you have to know what to do to prevent that. Otherwise, you could have some problems, or, you know, just do your eyes first. If you want to be careless and live your life, then you can just wipe it away. So we've got a nice matte base here, and for the shimmer, I want to go in with Elves, this shade right here. It's kind of a mix between a blue and a green, I think, but much like I've said in my other Nomad looks, I'll leave some of them linked if you're interested in more looks from palettes from this brand. I do feel like their shimmers are like your basic metallics unless you add a glitter primer. If you want a basic metallic, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not trying to use basic in a negative way, but for me, I really want them to sparkle, shine, and pop. So if you are like me, just use a glitter primer. This one's from Ulta Beauty, but you can use, of course, whatever you have. And I'm just using a flat brush. This one is from Gianna. The second brush I used for the outer corner was a Morphe JS6. Sorry, I forgot to mention that. I hate messing up the embossing. The snowflakes are so pretty on this for the eyes part. Ugh. I hate messing up the embossing, you guys. Okay. Here is that kind of bluey green shade. Really pretty. And I think I'm just going to go on like 2/3 of the eye with this color. Oh, that's so pretty. It has like a really nice, it's like a more green leaning base, I think, with a more bluey reflect to it. That's really pretty. And I have brown eyes, so I always think things that are like green or green leaning really bring out the color of my eyes since they are like a lighter brown. That's so pretty. Oh, okay, and then on the inner part, I want to use this River Glacier right above it, which is a little more frosty, a little more blue. Oh yeah. That's really nice for the inside. I do really like to do light colors to dark colors with my looks, like more lighter things on the inside, fading to the darker on the outside. Oh, that's really pretty. That's really pretty. Oh, are these shimmers better than some of the other palettes? Maybe, I don't know. I just did a video not too long ago on Hudson Valley and their Island palette, because those two are not going to be restocked once they go out of stocked. And yeah, I think these shimmers I like better than both of those palettes, if I'm being honest. I'm just going to take a Morphe 410 now and with Dark Castles do a little shadow liner. I do think the shimmers from Look 1, the Tokyo palette, are as good as this though, but it's hard to compare because that's a different formula with them being like duochromes and more of like a sheer iridescent situation. But these are really pretty. This is partially why I love doing videos like this on older palettes, because sometimes I forget, or maybe I never even realized like how good they were to begin with. And especially at times like these where it's like, okay, these palettes are 50% off. That's a good chance for you to pick up something that maybe was good all along, but you know, whether it was because you were getting too many other things at the time, you weren't sure about the color story, your preferences changed, maybe financially that full price point wasn't for you, but at 50% off, if you're thinking about it, it might be your time. Okay, I'm going to finish the shadow liner on the other eye, put on some mascara, a lip, the whole thing, and then I will be back to show you guys the finished look. Alright guys, and this is the final look. I did go ahead and put a little bit of Valkyries here, this more like purpley, I don't know, it's like a purpley bluey duochrome. I don't know if it'll show on camera, on the lower lash line underneath. I added a bit of Fresh from LA Girl in the waterline. And the lip is from Kaleidos. It is in Agave. This is like somewhat reminiscent of the look that I did a few videos ago with the Paradise Island palette, but I feel like it's different. Like it's lighter for sure up here. But I wanted like the grungy lip still because I love that look so much. I know some of you did too. I wanted to tie in this like deeper navy blue top that I'm wearing. And this lippy is in my Deck of Panning series. I'll leave that linked as well if you're interested. So gotta get in my uses for that this month. And this look just felt like perfect for that. So yeah, guys, I hope you liked it so much. Let me know if you think you're picking up these palettes. Do you already own them? Which look was your favorite, look 1 or look 2? I would love to hear all about it and talk with you in the comments. And I hope to see you again in the next one. Bye.